So, on the topic of Latino-related news,
Yeah.
this caught my attention yesterday, and I think it's just neat. So, I don't know if
No, I know nothing about it, brother.
All right. So, I've posted a couple of them in the chat if you scroll up. So,
I got it. I'm on them.
So, got two articles here, one from Associated Press and the other from Al Jazeera. So, Gabriel Boric, I think his last name is Boric. Doesn't sound like a very Spanish last name, but I could be wrong. So, Gabriel Boric wins Chile's presidential election. So, you might be wondering, if you're not Chilean, who the fuck is Gabriel Boric? You know what?
Yeah, I don't know.
I'm going to fucking go to a YouTube video just to see what his name is pronounced.
It would be Boric.
It could be Boric. Forbes breaking news. Oh, this is State Department shit. I don't give a shit about that. I just want to hear this guy's name pronounced, and that's it. Al Jazeera English? Maybe you can hook me up, buddy.
The sound of euphoria overwhelmed the streets of central Santiago.
These dudes are...
Of thousands of jubilant supporters of Gabriel Boric.
What?
Gabriel Boric. Okay.
Boric?
Yeah, Gabriel Boric.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Thanks, Al Jazeera.
Okay.
So,
Boric.
Yeah, so Gabriel Boric recently won a couple nights ago the presidential election in Chile, which makes him the youngest president-elect in Chile's history. So I'm looking at the Al Jazeera one right now. A left-wing legislator who rose to prominence during anti-government protests in Chile has been elected the country's next president, with almost 99% of polling stations reporting. Damn, can you fucking imagine getting that? Getting that kind of turnout? Shoot.
Oh, wait.
Oh, wait.
Oh, no, I don't think that's...
Oh, no, wait,
I just
you're
think
right,
that's
you're right.
Yeah.
I read that wrong. Whoopsies. That's not what I'm thinking of.
Yeah.
Sorry. Brain farted. Yeah, it's vaccine booster brain fog, but get your damn vaccines. So that said, yeah, with almost 99% of polling stations reporting, Gabriel Boric won 56% of the votes, compared with 44% for his conservative opponent, Jose Antonio Kast. In a model of civility that broke from the polarizing rhetoric of the campaign, Kast immediately recognized defeat, tweeting a photo of himself on the phone with his opponent, congratulating him on his grand triumph.
Well, I wonder what that feels like, because we in the United States of America don't get that.
Yeah. At 35, Boric is set to become Chile's youngest ever president. Fucking imagine being president at 35. Holy shit. Like, ain't you like 36?
Hey, come on, man. I'm going to quote Cary Grant from The Bishop's Wife. Mm-hmm. The only people that are old are people that were born old to begin with, you old fart.
I'm not calling you old. I'm just saying, because you're pretty much on the same age with this dude. Can you imagine being president?
I mean, I'm a loser. No.
You're not. Don't say that. So, yeah, but it's just unthinkable. This is cool. This is cool as fuck. Don't get me wrong. I'm not like knocking his age or anything. I just like, can you fucking imagine? You are the head of state of a Latin American country at age 35. That's fucking crazy.
Yeah, man. Well, that's the oldest you can be in the Constitution for the United States. I mean, the youngest you can be. So.
I thought it was 40 to be president. I could be wrong.
No, 35.
Really?
It's 25 for a congressperson.
You could run 35. You could fucking run to be president. Shit.
Yeah.
President Martin Perfecto.
The genius of love.
So who is Gabriel Boric? He studied in the Faculty of Law at the University of Chile and was president of the University of Chile Student Federation in 2012. I'm not reading from the Al Jazeera article, I'm reading from like Wikipedia. As a student rep, he became one of the leading figures of the 2011 to 2013 Chilean student protests. Boric was elected 2 times to the Chamber of Deputies, representing these, Magallanes and Antarctic District. What? And Antarctic? What? Am I reading that right? Oh, no. That's literally Antarctic because where it's at. Yeah, makes sense.
Oh, wow.
Literally, like, the southernmost part of the country and, like, a little bit where it actually goes into Antarctica. Are there Chileans living in Antarctica? No way.
No, wait a minute. It's at the bottom of the... Hold on. Maybe.
Literally
Maybe
at the bottom of the continent, dude.
Yeah. Well, I mean, Chile does go all the way down to the end of South America, right?
Yeah. And that shit gets cold.
Oh, my goodness.
It gets
I can imagine,
super cold. I'm curious why there's, like, some weird little overlap where there's, like, some little border things drawn on Antarctica. I'm like, what? Oh, well, that's interesting. Yeah. So he was elected twice to the Chamber of Deputies representing the Magallanes and Antarctic District. First as an independent candidate in 2013, and then in 2017 as part of the Broad Front, a leftist coalition he created with several other parties. So during the 2019 civil unrest in Chile, Boric was one of the politicians negotiating the agreement that paved the way for a referendum to change the constitution. 2021, he was selected as the presidential candidate of the Apruebo Dignidad, a coalition that included the Broad Front, the Communist Party, and other smaller movements, after winning the official primaries with 60% of the popular vote. On December 19th, Boric defeated Jose Antonio Kast in the second round of the presidential election, attaining 55.9% of the vote. Damn. Absolute Chad.
What? Chad's a bad guy, though, right?
Pastor Chad, but not Gabriel Boric. Dude, student politics, let's see. Born in Puente Arenas in 1986, he's the son of Luis Boric, a chemical engineer of Croatian descent, who has been a government employee of the Empresa Nacional del Petróleo. God damn, I can't speak any Spanish today, I'm sorry. For more than 40 years. And Maria Soledad Font Aguilera of Catalan descent. Okay, cool. So, damn.
What I like, too, about this is the history.
Oh,
like in the AP article that I'm reading, it says that Boric's government is likely to be closely watched throughout Latin America, where Chile has long been a harbinger of regional trends. And check this out. Here's some of the history. Chile was the first country in Latin America to break with the U.S. dominance during the Cold War and pursue socialism with the election of Salvador Allende? Did I say that right?
Salvador Allende.
Yeah, in 1970.
Mm-hmm.
It then reversed course a few years later when Pinochet?
Yeah, Augusto Pinochet.
Pinochet's coup ushered in a period of right-wing military rule that quickly launched a free market experiment throughout the region. Woo! So I like that Cold War history, which forms a background to this. Because, man, every time people say, man, socialism doesn't work, communism, well, I wonder why.
Yeah, because
Right?
you did say earlier in that article that Chile is going to be the center of a lot of attention. I wonder who in particular is going to be paying a lot of attention.
Yeah. Anybody ever heard of Monroe Doctrine or the Roosevelt Corollary?
Yeah, I'm sure. Like, as glad as I am about this news, like, my butthole's puckering a little bit. I'm like,
Yeah.
democratically elected leftist politician, huh?
Ooh, yeah.
Latin America,
Ouch.
huh? Boy.
Oof. And when we say leftist, y'all, here's a big, huge problem with the majority. Maybe the majority of the United States of Americans, American citizens.
Mm-hmm.
When we say left, we're not referring to the Democrats. When because when any of these right-wing grifters, for example, say the left, the left, the left, the left believe this, they're not referring to left. They're referring to Democrats. But when we say left, when an actual leftist says left, they're referring to this kind of stuff.
Yeah.
What are they referring to? Because you actually are making a video about this on YouTube.
Am I? What? Wait,
I thought you. Oh, maybe that was somebody else I know. But what are they?
Oh, so I did. A long ass time ago, I actually did make a YouTube video explaining the difference between left and Democrats, liberalism.
Yeah. I mean, the Democrat Party establishment is more conservative than not.
Yeah, like there are liberals and such, and social democrats who are left leaning. That is a thing, but they're not, in the normative sense of the word, who we're talking about. But it's also not the same group of people right-wingers are talking about, which is fucking anyone like a point left to them, So, yeah. I'm going to read a little bit more from this article here on Al Jazeera. So, Boric, who will take office in March, has tapped into public anger at Chile's market-oriented economic model, widely considered to have helped drive decades of rapid economic growth, but stoking inequality. That's pretty much every fucking country with man. Markets are technically good at driving economic growth, but economic growth in of itself does not necessarily mean higher quality of life or social equality. In fact, if you want to see a perfect example of this, that's not the United States, you can look at China, right? So China basically has, for the most part, done a lot to raise the overall wealth of the country, right, compared to other states. But there is huge, just like in the United States, there's still huge economic inequality within China. So there's inequality between countries, and there's inequality within countries. And countries usually that do follow this market economic model, like Chile, typically do experience economic growth, but suffer from widening economic inequality. So Chile,
in those countries that choose not to follow this market economy, they get huge pressure from from the super countries that choose to follow the market economy, the quote unquote free market economy.
Right. Traditionally, the only thing that has been able to actually somewhat deal with inequality or to stifle growing inequality is usually, welfare states like Denmark and Sweden and shit like that. Now, granted, I mean, there's still significant economic inequality in those countries, but it's not to the same degree as the United States or Chile, which traditionally have not implemented the same kind of programs of wealth distribution, for example. So, yeah, reading from the article again, let's see here. So, the imbalance sparked widespread angry social uprisings in 2019 in Chile, lighting the fuse for the political rise of the progressive left and the redrafting of the country's dictatorship-era constitution. Al Jazeera's Lucia Newman, reporting from the Chilean capital, said the mood in Santiago was euphoric. Boric is promising to be a president for all Chileans, including those who have opposed his vision for the Chilean future, she said. And he says he hopes he can convince them that that future will be better for everyone. Well, get some pictures of
if people don't leave him alone, if other countries, United States, don't leave him alone.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, this picture's pretty cool too. It's a picture of, these look like young people in this car celebrating this victory.
Oh, are you on the Al Jazeera one?
Yeah.
Yeah, they're it looks like a little pickup. Yeah. Yeah, having a fucking blast.
Hell yeah, when you can get young people that look, I mean, these look like high schoolers. So when you can get high schoolers to be interested in politics, good for you, man.
Yeah, young people should be politically engaged. A native of Punta Arenas, God damn it, Punta Arenas, in Chile's far south, Boric, as a student, led the Federation of Students at the University of Chile in Santiago. He rose to prominence, leading protests in 2011, demanding improved and cheaper education, which is always fucking dope. By 2014, still in his 20s, he had joined the National Congress as a lower house legislator, representing Chile's vast and sparsely populated southernmost region of Magallanes.
That's what you're probably referring to then.
Yeah, where it's
You talked about Antarctica.
Yeah, right on the very bottom of the continent. On the campaign trail this year, he promised to, quote, bury, unquote, the neoliberal economic model.
Yeah,
bury that shit under the prison.
Bury that shit alive, man.
Yeah, left by General Augusto Pinochet's 1973 to 1990 dictatorship, and raise taxes on the super rich to expand social services, fight inequality, and boost protection of the environment. In downtown Santiago, his supporters cheered, embraced, and waved flags of Boric's image, as well as rainbow flags of LGBT groups that have backed his socially inclusive policies, as well as plans to overhaul Chile's market-oriented economic model. We did it, 39-year-old Paula Fernandez said tearfully as she hugged her daughter, adding she was happy because of Boric's progressive policies. And this was a historic turnout, so technically I was right for the wrong reasons earlier when I was reading this.
Well, check this out, man. Something you said, something in this article that you just read from, it touched me, warmed the cockles of my heart, because check this out. He's promising to bury the neoliberal economic model and raise taxes on the super rich to expand social services. So check this out. In my class, last week, my students and I were talking about the U.S. withdrawal from Afghanistan. And according to a study by Brown University, the U.S., from the invasion of Afghanistan in 2001 to when the U.S. pulled out of Afghanistan in 2021, the U.S. was spending $300 million a day. Now, so my students and I were discussing this, right? And I had a revelation. I had a message from God above that said this: $300 million a day. Well, here, how about this? I said, how about this, students? What do y'all think of this, young world? How about if we give the United States, how about if we give every citizen in this country $1 million? How many, so there's about 330 million people in the United States of America right now. If you gave everybody $1 million, that would be the same that you spent an entire day in Afghanistan on the military, or whatever the hell you were doing there in Afghanistan. Think about that.
If those
Can you imagine?
Yeah, if those numbers are correct, that is fucking mind-boggling.
Yeah. Like, why not make every citizen a millionaire?
Yeah. No shit.
How about that? Like, I don't care if you're 0 or, a little month old, or I don't care if you're 100 million years old. I promise when I'm elected to give every American $1 million.
Damn.
Boom. How about that? I'm getting elected, my man.
Shit. Immediately. Instant fucking win.
Seriously, $300 million. Where did that money go?
Yeah. And look, for what fucking... Look at the end result. Look at the fucking end result. The fucking
Taliban are still in power.
They took that shit over. It's like, whoop, here we go.
But you know what, though? Because we were talking about in my class about the military-industrial complex. So, can you imagine the defense contractors and the former... military officials who join these corporations and who join these investment firms that have backing and have support in the defense industry? Can you imagine how much money they made from that stuff? Like,
Shit.
and the social services that we could have in this country, the free college, right? If you want to go to college, the free trade school, because I'm a big proponent of trade school, the free trade school. What's wrong with that stuff? What's wrong with giving, if you're going to spend $300 million a day, what's wrong with saying, hey, every American, you get $1 million, and we'll make it a law, we'll do something to make sure that inflation doesn't rise? Because these companies, and the landlords, they'd raise the prices. Oh, everybody's getting $1 million. Nope. You raise your prices, federal crime. Get the fuck out of here. Go to jail. So what's wrong with that stuff? I'm struggling.
Taking the China approach.
What?
Which I'm not saying is wrong. Don't get me wrong.
Who's going to stop the landlords and the corporations from screwing you in the butt?
Mm-hmm.
And China, they claim to be communists, but how do you have social classes? How do you have economic inequality?
It's socialism with Chinese characteristics.
Yeah, it's just like the shoddy Chinese products. How about that?
I will say some of their stuff has gotten a little bit better. I know that's kind of a thing still about, like, oh, it came from China, it sucks, but it's like,
well, made in China, you better buy 2.
So I'm going to keep reading this article here.
Yeah.
So after historic turnout, Kast, Gabriel Boric's opponent, who has a history of defending Chile's past military dictatorship.
Oh boy, he's one of these.
This motherfucker finished ahead of Boric by 2 points in the first round of voting last month, but failed to secure a majority of votes. That set up a head-to-head runoff against Boric. Boric was able to reverse the difference by a wider margin than pre-election opinion polls forecast by expanding beyond his base in the capital, Santiago, and attracting voters in rural areas who don't side with political extremes. For example, in the northern region of, Antofagasta, where he finished third in the first round of voting, he trounced Kast by almost 20 points. An additional 1.2 million Chileans cast ballots Sunday compared with the first round, raising turnout to nearly 56%, the highest since voting stopped being mandatory in 2012. It's impossible not to be impressed by the historic turnout, the willingness of Kast to concede and congratulate his opponent even before final results were in, and the generous words of President Piñera, said Cynthia Arnson, head of the Latin America program at the Wilson Center in Washington. Chilean democracy won today, for sure. Kast.
Well, coming from an American, I don't know if I don't know if that's a good. I don't know if they mean that in a good way.
What does the Latin America program do exactly? Yeah, I wonder.
And by the way, this Kast guy sounds like a real piece of work. Sounds like he's bosom buddies with Orange's anus face, which we all know is President Donald Trump.
About that, actually. Kast, 55, a devout Roman Catholic and father of 9, emerged from the far-right fringe after having won less than 8% of the vote in 2017. An admirer of Brazil's far-right president Jair Bolsonaro, he rose steadily in the polls, this time with a divisive discourse emphasizing conservative family values and playing on Chileans' fears that a surge in migration from Haiti and Venezuela is driving crime.
Oh my God.
This
guy is a Chilean Orange's anus face.
Yeah, this fucking pig. As a legislator, he has a record of attacking Chile's LGBTQ community and advocating more restrictive abortion laws.
Oh my God.
He's also accused outgoing President Sebastián Piñera, a fellow conservative, of betraying the economic legacy of General Augusto Pinochet, the country's former military leader. Kast's brother, Miguel, was one of Pinochet's top advisors. This motherfucker is connected by several degrees to fucking Augusto Pinochet.
What? Who would vote this guy in? Well, look what happened here in the United States of America. I can't talk. Sorry.
That can happen in any fucking country.
Yep.
So, Al Jazeera's Alessandro Rampieri, reporting from Kast's campaign headquarters in Santiago, said the conservative legislator had been very generous in his concession. Okay. He met Gabriel Boric, recognizing his victory, saying that everyone needs to respect the voice of the majority of the Chileans that decided to vote in favor of Boric, said Rampieri. And then Kast immediately started sucking Boric's big dick.
Well, hold on. I saw so in the AP article, check this out. This is going to blow your socks off. In recent days, both candidates had tried to veer toward the center. Check this out.
Oh.
Guess what this Kast guy said, or Kast, whatever you say. I'm not an extremist. I don't feel far right. Kast proclaimed in the final stretch, even as he was dogged by revelations that his German-born father had been a card-carrying member of Adolf Hitler's Nazi Party.
I beg your fucking pardon? I beg your fucking pardon?
I don't feel far right. I don't feel anti-Semitic.
Can you repeat that one more time just to make sure I heard that right?
So, quote, I'm not an extremist. I don't feel far right, unquote, Kast proclaimed in the final stretch, even as he was dogged by revelations that his German-born father had been a card-carrying member of Adolf Hitler's Nazi Party.
Whoa! Fucking wow!
I wonder what he taught his son.
There's a whole article about this too, that the AP article links. Father's Nazi past haunts Chilean presidential frontrunner.
Holy mackerel!
Michael Kast. Oh boy. Yeah, Perino.
Oh my gosh.
Woo! So we have a son of a Nazi on the one hand. I feel like if there's ever a situation that describes this, I feel like this was literally a matter of socialism versus barbarism at this point. Jesus.
Well, to be fair though, maybe this Kast guy didn't support his father, because I mean,
who knows?
I think, yeah. We can all say our fathers did some dirty shit in the past, but if my father was a Nazi, I'd fucking kill him.
If my father were a Nazi, the last thing I would want to do is identify with the far right.
Oh, yes.
I think that's a bad look, man.
Yeah.
And this guy's views already fucking suck if he's like ass-kissing Augusto Pinochet, you know? Like, wow. This has been a very polarized election. It comes now after years of often violent protests in the country. It was the first time in 3 decades that the two candidates who offered such a starkly different view of the future of the country confronted each other in a country that is known for its stability of its politics and economic views. Analysts say Boric's victory was likely to be tempered by a divided Congress. Boris van der Spek, editor-in-chief of Chile Today, said he expected to see a standoff between the right and the left in Chile. Oh yeah, don't think the fight's over there. The fact that Kast has lost does not mean he's completely gone from the political stage. The fact is, his right-wing party has gained a tremendous presence in the parliamentary elections. His front has 50 seats in the parliament and also in the Senate. They are a force to reckon with, and while Kast lost the election, turnout was so high that he became the 6th most voted for candidate in Chile, Van der Spek told Al Jazeera. Boric will still have to seek dialogue with the right-wing opposition as of March to be able to complete his political program. And it is unlikely that he will be able to fulfill his entire program. It's too ambitious, and his leftist program will be a moderate one in the end. Well, I am going to remain hopeful, despite the dangers in doing so.
Yeah, I mean, this reminds me too of Orange's Anus face. You know, he's not away. I mean, Orange's Anus face should be ostracized, kicked out of the country, ostracized, just like what they did in ancient Greece.